Alright guys and girls, this is Bagofsoup coming at you with a special review of the new heavy prototype bot, the IQSTR, or possibly called the Inquisitor. I of course had a video the other day where I was running this bot with my kids, and that's a lot of fun, but they are pretty crazy, so when I'm playing with them it's kind of like herding cats, and I didn't really get to focus on the actual robot itself, some of the different weapons that were available, and kind of talking about just my thoughts on how good or bad this robot is in comparison to others. I had recorded these matches over the past weekend's test server, and once again, as more of a review, just want to do some post-commentary on my thoughts, trying the bot out with some different setups. Here you see me jumping towards my enemy on Springfield here, able to take him out before he can lock on to me. And of course we'll talk about the features of this robot as we go through a couple of matches here. This bot is once again the heavy prototype IQSTR, which could stand for Inquisitor. And once again, shout out to Sword DBZ from the a.k.a. clan for pointing out that idea. As you'll see later in the video, on the side of the bot, the right shoulder, it actually says INQ. So you put INQ with IQSTR under the bot's prototype name, and that does sound like Inquisitor. Anyway, I also call it the Grancelalker, and I explained before, this bot is kind of like a combination of a Griffin, a Lancelot, and a Stalker all mixed together. It's got the body size of a Griffin and the jump. It's got the weaponry placement of a Lancelot, and it's also got the stealth ability of a Stalker, so I call it the Grancelalker. Of course, a couple things about it is when you jump away like this, not only do you have the jump that's a little better than a Griffin jump, a little higher or further, but you've also got a stealth mode that activates at the same time, so you're essentially stealth as you're jumping through the air and for the next 5 seconds once you land. Then you've got the regular cooldown on the weapon. Here I'm getting targeted from the side. This was the one of the setups I was enjoying, was the Lancelot setup, like on a Lancelot, the Ansel with Terrans. A pretty great setup if you're dealing with a lot of splash damage out there. Now, of course, if you see me get hit by random shots of lightning, last weekend we were also testing a medium prototype weapon that was like a Zeus, and when you hit a target, it also shot out lightning bolts to other targets that are within 300 meters of it. So that's why you'll see me getting hit from the side by little lightning shots here and there. And I didn't like that weapon, hope they scrap it personally. But that's what that is. So I of course now switched to the kind of the heavy Molot setup. And this is the Tempest on top and the medium Molots on the side. This is a setup I've been trying to run on the Lancelot lately. Pretty good setup, but you just got to stay back out of mid-range splash damage. I like it on the Lancelot because you've got the frontal shield to block against energy snipers like trebuchets and geckos. But once again, not all maps let you stay back far enough to really use it effectively. You can also just get a Griffin and put Molots on it. But I do like this setup over the Griffin one, just because if you do get targeted, you can use the Grancelalker to jump away or jump up in the air and activate that stealth. So right here in this case, if it was ready, I could jump, and that would buy me some precious time to get out of the way of these energy snipers while they can't target me. But this was a fun setup, either provide that you stay back far enough from the enemy or you use your jump, like right here, the jump and stealth. Watch me take out this Fury Zeus. He still can't lock on for 5 more seconds. So this was definitely a fun range setup on the Grancelalker here. So once again, pretty much any setup you can do on a Lance, you can do on this bot. And of course the big differences are this has the jump, the Lance has the speed boost and the physical shield. Another thing to note on the Grancelalker here is it's got a max level speed of 40. That's definitely the highest speed for a heavy robot. The normal heavy robots are going to have speed anywhere between 30 to 35 kilometers an hour, unless they have a speed boost like the Lance. But man, this Grancelalker is definitely like a Griffin on steroids. If it has that kind of firepower, that kind of jump and stealth, and that kind of speed. So of course one of the issues that we're doing here is we're taking a look at the Inquisitor or Grancelalker, And we're trying to figure out if this is a better bot than a Griffin, or a better bot than the Lance. If this will be a bot that replaces them. Here's another popular setup I've been running also is the Thunder Terrans. Normally I would prefer to do a Thunder Orkin. It's probably my favorite setup. We will see it used here. Because I think since the Terrans fire further in their energy weapons, Thunder is a physical weapon and usually is more effective at closer range. So I don't try to mix weapons if possible. That's why I prefer something like a Thunder Orkins and then maybe an Ansel Terrans or a Zeus Terrans, something like that. But for whatever reason, it works pretty well on this bot. It could be that you get to jump in a little closer with that Thunder, which you obviously can't do on a Griffin since it can't hold a Thunder. That helps you get some extra firepower in while you're jumping in stealth. Also, just because this particular test server weekend, we're facing a lot of unshielded bots like other Grancelalkers. So the Terrans are going to be pretty effective on these other non-shielded bots. The Terrans are obviously they're great because they do a quick reload and a lot of fast damage against jumping and moving targets like plasma would. So how would that Terran Thunder setup do against other Lancelots and Galahads? In shield bots, that would be the issue. Of course, finally we get to one of my favorite setups on this bot. This is really an ambush style bot, so it makes sense that Thunders and Orkins would be really good. You can take out enemies really quickly with your jump and stealth mode before they can even get a chance to target you. So this was definitely my favorite setup. I ran a couple of these in my hangar. As you'll see, and obviously on certain maps like close range maps like Dead City, Power Plant, and Moon Map, this setup will be really, really effective. Just one of the great things, as you can see here, is that Thunder is so great to knock down Ansel shields before you fire your Orkins off. Once again, that's something a Griffin can't do. They can fire the pinatas, but not the Thunder. So that was just a fun match we got to do there on Springfield, testing out the faster speed of the Grancelalker, that jump and stealth, and a few of the setups. You can see that we did pretty decently there with those setups. We'll take a look once again what we're running in the hangar here. The Thunder Orkins, 2 of those. And once again, that's probably my favorite setup. This is like the Killer Lance with the Thunder Orkins. But instead of that physical shield, we're relying on the jump and the stealth for evasion and to be able to jump in close and deal heavy damage before the enemy can target you back. So this is probably the #1 setup that I would run with this bot in the current game meta. I did like the Ansel Terran. If you're facing a lot of mid-range splash or rockets, it can buy you time with those Terrans. And of course the Heavy Mola was just a fun ranged setup. So we're going to jump into a Moon Map here, one of those close range maps. And once again, this is just a great setup for these kind of maps, the Thunder Orkin. One thing you'll see me do in this map is I'll get a little overzealous and I'll jump in behind enemy lines, which if you're using Orkins or Thunder, probably good to just jump in when you're facing a one-on-one opponent, take him out quick and get to cover. Even if with the stealth, I wouldn't jump into just a huge mix of guys unless they're all together and you can hit them with splash damage. So be careful with that. So one time I think I get a little overzealous with it. Otherwise, if you can use it smartly, it can last quite a long time here. So one of the big issues with this bot is, like the Griffin, don't use your jump just any time like I did there. This bot has some pretty good speed, 40 speed at max level 9 and above. So, just use the speed to get to beacons and save that jump for emergencies only. One of the issues during this test server weekend was that we were facing other Grancelalkers or other Inquisitors, and it really became a duel to see who could jump at the better time. Like right now I'm stealth, this guy already used his jump, and he was powerless against me when I used it after him. So you have to be real careful on that. I think in the live version of the game that will still be true. If you're facing other Grancelalkers, you're going to have to really decide who's going to jump first and bait the other person into jumping. Or if you're facing Griffin, same thing, a Griffin versus Griffin or a Grancelalker versus Griffin. Who's going to jump first? Now you see me jump over the wall here to take this guy out, which is great and fun, but once again, I overextended myself. I have to reload my splash weapons, and I've got to close in on these guys if I'm going to take them out. And so you have to be real careful with this setup not to do that. The stealth is just a short time. This bot can be overpowering in some ways, but if you're not careful, you can get too overconfident with it. So I think I'm going to do a lot better this second time. I kind of learned my lesson, and I'm going to play a little more patiently with it and really decide when to use my jumps and when to get close to the enemy here. But once again, the only tricky part is you can't use that stealth unless you jump. So sometimes you'll see some players just jump straight up in the air, and the only reason they did that was to activate the stealth. It wasn't to actually use the jump at all. Now if you're in that moon map, that little center tunnel, technically you could just jump and you'll hit the ceiling a few feet up, and then you'll have that stealth activated. Same on that new jungle prototype map that has an inner tunnel too. You could technically do that as well. So that's one quick way to activate this. But if you are going to jump to activate that stealth, make sure you know where you're landing. So anyway, this bot seems pretty far along, and one of the reasons we know that is because it's got the full skin and detail on it. Probably one of the most detailed skins I've yet seen in the game. I really like it. It's kind of got like a Roman centurion feel, a Greek feel. If the name Inquisitor does stick, you know, and you look at the front knee pads and foot and belt pieces, you could make a case it's got kind of like a Spanish look. I'm not saying that they're going for a Spanish Inquisition style deal or something like that, but it's got kind of a Renaissance look to the bot. But I really love the detail on it. I think this is one of the best designs yet. I know some other players think it looks like Warhammer or some other things, and anyway, you can really see me hitting a big damage close in on these trenches. I'm hitting guys right as they come up above the ramp, or like I'm jumping right into this guy with my stealth. This is a great place to be for this kind of bot on moon map. You can normally hide from a lot of hydras and spirals right up against this wall, unless your opponent's really good at curling them. You can also hide against a lot of aphids, and then when they come up to get you, they've either got to jump or come right up into point blank range, where you can either take them out just like this, or if you've saved up your jump, you can jump left, right, or back and fire with that stealth mode like this here. They may or may not hit you with a few stray bullets, but more than likely they're going to miss, and you're going to do heavy damage. So this is definitely a great setup for this map, and you saw how many guys I just took out before they finally got me here with the Leo Tempest Molots there. So now we're going to jump in with the Thunder Terran, and once again, I just like the punch that the Thunder is doing on this map, whether to take out Ansel shields or Lancelot shields, and if I'm facing a lot of other jumping bots, the Terrans are just great to hit those with. So anyway, I've really been enjoying this bot. I'm still on the fence to see if this bot is a little too overpowered or not. When you've got that kind of weaponry, like a lance, combined with that kind of speed, more than any other heavy bot, and then finally with that kind of special ability, jump and stealth, that's a lot. But once again, you're going to see me get overconfident again right here and jump behind enemy lines. Even with Terrans, wasn't the best idea because I got taken out from the side. I jumped in the middle of 4 bots at different angles. So this bot can be overpowering, but it can also lead you to be overconfident. You still have to use it wisely. Adrian Chong said that even if it is powerful, it doesn't have a physical shield or a built-in Ansel shield, like a Dashbot Mark II or III would have those built-in shields. So you can put an Ansel on like I'm doing here, but once again, you still have weaknesses. There are ways to take these bots out. Matter of fact, I'd like to build a hangar just to have fun trying to take these out. I think some of the best bots to take these guys out with, personally, if it's not like a mid-range bot, like more of a close-up bot, would probably be something like a a Plasma Gareth. Because he's got the speed and the shield. Either the speed to outrun rockets and just backpedal and then wait for the Grancelalker to decloak and take it out, or the shield to block plasma long enough to hit back at the Grancelalker. And of course the big issue with that is that right now Garrus and Galahads aren't really great because of all the mid-range rockets and splash out there. So while that would be a great counter to this, in the current meta, that would be problematic. So if I'm trying to think of a good bot that would be helpful against these guys in the current situation, an Lancelot might, an Ansel Terran Lance might, but you have to stay back far enough so you don't get ambushed and they don't jump inside your shield with Orkans, or if they take you out with Thunder from a distance, and then some other guy hits you with rockets, you're in trouble too. So yeah, that's going to be a tough call. What to use? Probably right now a mid-range bots. Something like a Carnage Zeus could attract these guys. Problem is, when they jump, you lose your auto lock-on with the Zeus, and not only do you have to wait 5 seconds for him to land, you have to re-engage the lock. So that will be problematic for Zeus's. So anyway, I'd be curious to hear in the comment section below what you think would be a good counter to the Grancelalker, whether it's using Thunder Orkans up close, or using Ansel Terrans or Thunder Terrans, or even Punishers on there, or even the Tempest Molots. You saw me finish off 3 guys in a row here. They're all just a sliver of health, and I was able to jump away from that guy and activate my stealth long enough to get to cover. We were down in this match, down on bots, down on beacons, down on energy bar, but we're able to hold them out till the end. But here's where the Ansel setup fails. I've got the Ansel Terran just like this Lancelot, but he may not have my speed and jump and stealth, but he's got that physical shield, and so that gave him a clear advantage. Plus you saw that Fury Zeus. That thing is powerful. That was the new skin on the Fury. And if I was in between jumps and didn't have my stealth, that Fury could do massive damage to me. So once again, this Griffin or Grancelalker is very powerful, but also does have counters to it. I think that's a good thing. Anyway, we did pretty good there. 10 kills, 6 beacons, good damage with those setups. I would love to hear what your favorite setups were with the Grancelalker this past weekend, or what you think you would like to run. I'd also like to hear how many, if you could buy this for whatever currency. I'd like to hear what currency you think it'll be, like event currency, influence points, gold, workshop points. And how many would you want to run in your hangar? Would you replace your Griffins? It has the Thunder, the heavy slot on top, but you know the Griffin has the light slots on top. So a Plasma Griffin might be better than a Thunder Terran. It just depends on the situation. Or you might want that Thunder on top to take out other Ansel shields. So I'd love to hear how many Grancelalkers you would consider running in your hangar, what kind of setups you would run with it. I'd also like to hear your thoughts on if you think it's too overpowered, too underpowered, just right. You know, should it be slowed down a little bit in the speed? I noticed the hit points is about 6,000 or 7,000 less than a Griffin, so you got that. I would like to hear what you think about the design as well. I really like it, and what you think the name is. We've got the INQ on the side there, INQ 0180. Also got the prototype IQSTR there. So Inquisitor could be the name. What's the look? You know, is it a Roman Centurion? Is it a Spanish Renaissance look? Is it a Warhammer look? What do you think? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the look at the Grancelalker, and hopefully we'll get to try it out more in the next coming weeks, and we'll hopefully get a little more information on when it might get released, probably after the Dashbots, and what kind of currency it's going to cost, or if there's any tweaks to it. That's it. This is Bagofsoup coming at you from the test server. And if you liked the video, please click like. If you're not a subscriber yet, please do so. We got tons of great content coming out. And I hope you have a great War Robots day.